1.
Are you ready?
Nerd Sauce Entertainment presents
The NerdPod.
And we're live.
Oh, we are?
We're live. All right, we're going to get this episode started with a little bit of anime.
Oh, man. All right. What's your history with anime? Like,
that's
when
right
did you
there.
start watching anime? What was your first initial experience with anime?
I want to say He-Man. Because
wow.
He-Man...
Is that
Well, there was a variety of them. Voltron, He-Man, Thundercats.
Voltron? Shit.
I don't remember those that much.
I briefly watched that when I was a kid. I remember that, yeah.
Ronin Warriors.
I don't think I've ever seen Ronin.
You never see Ronin Warriors?
No.
Damn.
Cartoon Network?
Yeah, that was like the top... Well, I think, yeah.
For me,
Yeah.
earliest anime was like, it had Dragon Ball Z.
Well, this was
Like
around
that-
that area, I
Dragon Ball?
believe.
Yeah.
Not Dragon Ball?
Dragon Ball Z were the earliest anime
Oh,
that
okay,
I
So
remember.
we're a little bit ahead.
Because you guys are a bit older than me.
Yeah. So
No,
Dragon
but I
Ball
will
is us
say-
from our history.
Yeah, for me, first anime was, I would say, it's definitely Dragon Ball.
Think so?
Yeah. Dragon Ball, and I had two because I remember when I started watching Dragon Ball on Cartoon Network, I simultaneously, my cousin had the Cowboy Bebop collection.
Oh.
Like he had the whole thing, and I watched Cowboy Bebop. And so Cowboy Bebop and Dragon Ball were my first animes, followed quickly by like the Akira movie.
Oh,
And
You remember watching Akira younger?
yeah, but it made no sense to me. I just thought it looked cool. Like it
Yeah.
made sense to me when I rewatched it as an adult. But I watched it, and
Around that time, we would be a little bit after Dragon Ball Z would be Zoids, right?
Zoids was a big one for
a
me
lot
too.
after, but there was so much. So we
I would say younger though. I'm trying to think of
Yeah.
younger, like what
Well-
really got me into anime. So for me, for sure, was Dragon Ball and Cowboy Bebop. I'll
well,
leave it at
Dragon
that,
Ball,
yeah.
yes, because that was the most popular out of all the shows. But I've seen what was it? Sailor Moon was a big.
Yes,
you know?
sorry. Yeah. I knew there was one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sailor Moon.
back
Moon's
in,
a
like not the
early
remake.
one.
Bro, I
the
remember
remastered version.
growing up in Miami, like I'd get out of school and I'd come home, and I had this vivid memory where I would sit down on the couch while my mom made
Yo.
me like something to eat, and I
See
would
George
watch
Dance to the Sailor Moon.
Those are
Five
vague
Evil
memories.
by moonlight.
Oh, that was
Yeah, bro. I love Sailor Moon.
She is
man.
the one named Sailor Moon.
I based all of my charisma off of Tuxedo Mask.
Tuxedo
alright?
Mask, though.
I thought if I could be Tuxedo Mask in real life, I will find a girlfriend.
Dude, that's it.
I still live off
Problem
of that.
solved. The way he just came in, like, dude.
Yeah, so early, Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z,
I'm telling
Zoids.
you have to look up Ronin Warriors. That was
I'd never heard of that.
So they had
Ronin Warriors.
They had this mythical armor that they call on, and then they turn into these like samurai.
That sounds like Saint
characters.
Seiya, right? Like something
Saint
like
Seiya is another. I love Saint Seiya, but it's around that time too. The original Saint Seiya came out in the
that. That's
early
like I would say
days.
even late '80s, right? Like that's
yes,
like '80s
it
anime.
was around the time Ronin Warriors came all of them, but they all had that kind of like Power Rangers theme. You have like, a different element or a different character. So that's how Ronin Warriors were.
That's funny.
They had a fire, wind, water, rock, and then electricity, lightning.
Yeah, Dragon Ball was great though because I'm glad we're doing this episode because I've been dying to talk crap about all these whack shonen main characters, man. I trust me, I like a lot of them, but I think I have
of the big three.
the big three.
Naruto, Luffy, or Ichigo.
I don't
Like
think
that classic-
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not into One Piece, so I would even put Luffy there.
Okay. Because for me, that was my next phase of my anime, history.
Yeah, Naruto.
Dragon Ball Z, and then I got introduced later on to Naruto,
Dragon
One
Ball Z.
Piece, and
So you there's more than a top three because you have, for instance, you have Naruto, then you have Attack on Titan, so you have Eren.
Yeah,
Aaron's
yeah.
another
No,
big
but we're
character.
talking about from that era, like the big three for
Yeah,
sure.
like-
Like,
for, like,
before
Naruto.
the 2010s.
Yeah.
like
So
the
before-
history.
I'll say it like this: before anime was cool.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
when I used to hide the fact
This
that
was-
I
yeah,
liked
yeah.
anime. That's
I
the
I was
biggest
watching
thing.
Dragon Ball Z in elementary school, and I was watching Naruto in middle school. So that's like
Gotcha.
that's my next phase when I got into.
Yeah, you can see there was a lot of people that were
Yeah.
scared
My
to
next
be,
phase was
be up
definitely
to
Zoids. I got really
Yeah.
into Zoids, Gundam, mechs, like just like the mecha
that. The Gundam
genre.
for sure, especially Gundam Zero.
I know
Yeah.
Gundam. I have
Yeah.
never seen a Gundam, but I know the lore.
What?
Yeah, the lore
Bro.
timelines. They're like
Gundam Zero was like
Gundam is so
like
good.
back then when it first came
Yeah.
out.
I have vague
don't know,
memories of
It's a
watching like.
Toonami, baby.
I watched scenes
Toonami.
here and
When you
there.
knew Toonami was coming out, Adult Swim.
Yeah.
Oh, you knew
When they
about
showed
to go
anime, man.
down.
Yu Yu Hashigu.
I mean, that's
like,
Yeah.
introduced anime to a whole generation. Without-
Inuyasha.
Inuyasha.
Oh my.
No, man, but
goodness.
yeah, like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, I definitely think
They're
from
iconics.
from the Western
Yes.
perspective though is what really introduced a majority of people like to anime.
Well, I think
right?
they didn't know the difference between like a cartoon and an
Yeah.
anime series because
Yeah,
it's
But
like
Yeah,
even
yeah.
at that age, without knowing the difference between
Yeah.
anime or cartoon, it was almost I knew instantly just because of how the art looked.
Oh, yeah.
It's still different compared to like growing up and watching
Cow and Chicken, Dexter's Laboratory.
the
Oh my
Dexter's
God,
Laboratories, or
Yes.
like
'Cause that was
Batman, the animated series,
beautiful.
Superman, the
That's a
animated
beautiful-
series, Spider-Man. Like the art was
The
very
Amazing
different to, like, our
Spider-Man,
Dragon
yeah,
Ball,
the X-Men series,
all
yeah.
those like the Western American cartoons.
Yeah, you knew.
They had their schedule for like Toonami, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
knew thing was going down.
5 o'clock, baby.
They
Dragon
played a
Ball
little.
Z.
They played a little.
perfect time.
What was
Spirit Bomb, like 8 episodes. He was
remember-
charging it up, man. I would be so pissed. I think it was longer than that.
3 weeks of school, and I was like coming back from.
I know.
Wasn't it just an episode a week?
But at that time,
I think so, yeah, it
But
was a
at
new
that
episode
time, I
every
remember
week.
the feeling I was waiting like days or weeks.
God, it felt like decades.
Yeah.
30 minutes of just talking, you know. But there was a lot of
like
shows.
20 minutes of like,
Give me your strength.
Like you had,
Everyone believe in me.
how did Frieza not stop this guy?
you also had some like Samurai Jack,
Oh yeah, that was.
oh my
man.
God.
Powerpuff Girls, like those like or
You know what? Powerpuff Girls is like, yeah, that's very like anime influence.
It
you know?
is.
But it's I think
Because
it's pretty
Samurai
sure.
Jack, I feel like for sure they don't go away from like it's a lot of anime influence. But now that you said Powerpuff Girls, I never really thought about it until
Yeah.
you literally just
Yeah,
mentioned
it's like
that.
I just with the art, it like separates
yeah.
the two.
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
can tell the
and
difference.
also Samurai Jack, also the creator. Watch Primal.
Primal?
Primal. That's his next series.
Ah.
Yeah, I mean, well, it finished. Now here's another series coming up, but
it's like a
great.
show or
Yeah, it's
a
a show.
manga?
HBO.
Really?
Primal.
The creator of Samurai Jack?
Yeah. That's another.
Wow.
That's for another
wow.
podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so
Oh, how can I forget? My gosh, Yu-Gi-Oh! Saturday
yeah.
mornings,
Yu-Gi-Oh!
man.
That was
Saturday
another one.
I
mornings.
just got some Yu-Gi-Oh cards on the mail. I need to do
Yeah, bro.
a opening on
I still
that.
have my original deck.
I
Oh,
still
yeah?
have my original
Do you have
Fiend
it?
deck, baby.
Oh,
Mine
bringing
was-
out that summon skull.
Yeah.
Nah,
I had Warriors.
Dark Necrofear.
Warriors
wow.
and spellcasters.
My spellcaster right here too. Okay, or I do like the dragons, man. Blue eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
What was the wallet? You got protection.
Oh yeah.
Blue eyes, white dragon, baby.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Look, I will say though.
Digimon.
Oh my god!
Digimon,
Yeah.
yeah.
I forgot. Yeah. Oh,
I just
oh
wished
my
it-
god, bro! Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Pokemon's one of those weird ones that I always considered like it's a hybrid. I don't really consider
It is a hybrid.
I don't really consider it full on anime.
Well, I think there was a part where, in the beginning was cartoon. Then they adapted the anime style. That's why you see how it looks now compared to it did before.
Now it looks like an anime.
That's
like
what I'm
this
saying.
this new series, but bro, like original Ash Catch, Ash Brock Misty.
Yeah.
What we got growing up in the 90s.
20 years later, I was just like, I'm still 12.
I was just to 12.
Pikachu, you have a beard.
Dude, I'm old with kids, man. How you still young?
Pikachu's going through dementia.
Nah, man.
He's old.
I don't care, man. He'll forever piss me off. He doesn't evolve anything. That bothers me so much. He had 3 starters.
Yeah.
Like, I know the world is a different concept, but that was always a pet peeve of mine.
Well, he had all these.
Bro,
he had
when
amazing.
when he fought Brock, he literally threw out Pikachu to fight an Onyx. Like,
Hey man, we're learning.
Hey,
12 seasons later. does the same thing.
I remember
Pikachu, Thunderbolt, and he be hurting Onyx.
Yo,
I'm like, what is that?
that's the part
I mean, it's clear that Pikachu's a mutant. That's not a regular Pikachu.
it's a freak Pikachu,
Yeah,
bro. I don't care what
think at
anyone
this point,
says.
It's immortal,
Damn.
doesn't age.
Yeah.
It can destroy legendary Pokemon.
He
too.
can hurt another electric Pokemon.
He could hurt an electric Pokemon, a rock Pokemon, ground Pokemon.
There's no resistance
using electric attacks.
that can't take.
I just completely hate that they didn't take like type into consideration in the show.
I mean,
that's my biggest problem, bro.
That's a true
because
like,
if you
kid show. That's
that's an
Yeah.
actual
compared to-
kid show.
compared to like shonen. Like
I mean, if you read
so-
like the first few pages of the Pokemon manga, I think it was a Polyrath and an Arbok battle, and
it's
Arbok literally gets chopped in half.
Yeah.
Like
the manga's a lot darker.
Yeah.
The show is the everything behind Pokemon is dark because every Pokemon has a
weird.
backstory, man.
Yo, the
Crazy.
Pokemon War theory, the other Pokemon theory of Ash being in a coma and dreaming the whole thing. That's
just cope theory.
Yeah, no.
But so we
Man.
have so during that time too. You say you didn't watch Naruto. You watched Naruto.
I watched original
So
Naruto and
you would
Shippuden.
choose Naruto.
Naruto's number one.
number one for
for
all that
anime.
genre, number one. Oh, and all of that.
the
anime?
big three.
Since
Or the big
since
three.
the big three to
Yeah.
now, Naruto Shippuden is still on top.
Okay.
I think so too. Like
You like
I think
Naruto
Naruto
the
just yeah, Naruto just like for me checked all the boxes of what like a basic shonen
But
character
the
is.
fact that everybody that's the main character, Sasuke, Naruto, everybody, they all have a big story behind
Yeah.
them.
Exactly, which is why
That's-
which is my big thing on why I will choose Naruto and not Dragon like just the Dragon
Yeah,
Ball Z
Dragon
world
Ball, obviously, yeah.
because
They don't go into much-
Naruto and
Vegeta was angry
Goku.
and bitter for like
Yeah.
40 years.
Naruto and Goku are very similar to me, but Naruto has a legitimate character arc within
Literally,
Naruto.
like the detail.
the whole
Yeah, 'cause
story
we can't
complete.
get into. You kept up with Dragon Ball Super, right?
No,
Yes.
no, that doesn't count.
No.
Yeah.
No. That's not canon. I'm sorry.
No, but I'm talking about.
He's ready to fight somebody. Yo, say it one more time.
No.
Because what he's
I'm gonna piss people off in this episode.
what he was
People aren't gonna like me. I have a
Well,
lot of
but what he
opinions.
was talking about with Goku is what they do to Goku's character.
Yeah,
Goku
man.
at the end of the Goku's dumb when it comes to like everyday stuff, but when it comes to fighting,
He's a savant.
genius. He has like
Yeah.
he's a savant when it comes to his fight IQ,
Yo.
right?
Throw these hands,
And
man.
the way they made his character from Dragon Ball Z to Dragon Ball Super, he's lost like 20 IQ. I don't know what they're doing.
I don't.
It's
So
funny
for-
enough. They make the same thing they do with his character is what they did to Thor in
Yeah.
MCU.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
dumped
yeah.
his character down. They're like, just ignore those last 20 years of his life.
He's old in the show because
for me,
these kids are growing up.
For me, the whole story of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z ends at the end. For me, the true conclusion is from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z at the end of the Cell games.
Oh yeah.
That was the best.
That's
last
the
minute.
story.
You know, like Kid Buu?
That is the. I like the Majin Buu arc. It was good, but I'm talking about if we're looking at this from like a story perspective.
Vegito or was it not Gogeta?
I don't know if you remember this, but
Vegito.
Vegeta, one of the two. They
Vegito,
they
yeah.
have two-
So he's so OP, but they killed him off so fast.
So that's my
when
thing.
Majin Buu absorbed him.
That's my thing. So for me, look, I'm gonna
go
explain this right because Dragon Ball Z. I mean, it's the typical anime thing too, but
Yeah.
I feel like Dragon Ball Z is a victim of it more. You call it power creep.
Power creep, yeah.
Power creep, and it's
Yeah,
it gets
they're
to
the
the
worst.
point
They're the worst.
where I start losing interest. Why?
Yeah.
Because the only thing you can do with your villains is just make them stronger.
Yeah.
If you look at Dragon Ball all the way up to Dragon Ball Super, what happens? Oh my God, someone's here to destroy the planet or the universe. They're strong. Now we're gonna have a training arc when we learn a new ability that we can use to defeat them. Hey, we defeated them. Yay, da 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 da. Oh no, new threat.
Yeah.
What? What do you mean he wants to destroy the planet / or universe?
It's like a few-
Oh no,
few months
maybe
apiece.
if I use this new technique, it's
Yeah.
copy and paste,
Yeah.
You could only do that so long. Me personally, you could only do that so long for me before I'm like
You lose all
I'm
because
losing
at
interest.
this point, Goku's. I mean, at this point, he is basically a god.
There's
fighting
no
other
accountability.
gods.
There's
Oh,
no
yeah.
accountability.
He started as a little boy that could.
Where do you go
extremely
in
strong.
Super? Because
Yeah.
I've never kept up with it, but I have the understanding that they had this like tournament of power, and it's all these powerful people from different corners of the galaxy. And look, I get
After
it.
is Brawly.
Universes in this
Universes.
Yeah, but isn't the Brawly episodes are after that? right?
That was actually. If you ever saw the new Dragon Ball Z
Broly
movie,
stuff, no.
Watch those are.
Because that's part of the Dragon Ball
That's
Super
actually pretty good.
series.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
That's actually pretty good.
So let me just finish
And
this.
the classic Broly movie.
Let me finish.
They did Gogeta justice there because he was good in, when they did the fusion.
Yeah.
So let me say this, like why I have this perspective, right? Because I'm looking at it from a narrative perspective.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's the good look, that's the good thing with the big three, especially Naruto and One Piece, which are probably the most popular animes that have ever been created.
And 1,000 episodes.
They're consistent stories. You know what I mean? And for me, that's why for me it's from Dragon Ball to the end of the Cell games. Why? Because you have this ongoing story. You know, there's power creep, absolutely, but it's interesting because you think about Dragon Ball, the main villains there is a Red Ribbon Army and King Piccolo.
Yeah.
You know,
King Piccolo's the last villain of
yeah.
you know.
So
Goku.
then you move
Yeah.
into
Before Dragon Ball Z.
Then you move into Dragon Ball Z, and with the first villain is Raditz.
Yeah.
Right. Raditz is coming looking for Goku or whatever that happens. Then you have Nappa and Vegeta. Right. That's taken care of, and then we immediately enter like this training arc, which then leads us to the Frieza story, the
Going to
Namek.
Namek.
You know, and at that point, Frieza's this massive
Yeah,
threat.
Frieza's like
You
at
know-
that point growing up when we were watching Frieza. is
Frieza's a Thanos right now.
That's
you
what
know?
I'm
yeah,
saying.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, floating
Killing,
throne and everything.
yeah.
Galactic
So-
Warlord.
Yeah, so you have that.
Because he's just destroying planets.
Beautiful arc for everyone. And that, think about it. Everyone had development.
Yeah.
Piccolo, Gohan, Krillin, everyone. You have the birth of the Super Saiyan. Beautiful. It ends. Okay. Then you have the beginning of the kind of like the Android Cell saga, right?
One of the coolest characters to introduce, Trunks.
Trunks.
I remember being
yes.
that what.
I was young.
8, 9 years
and I
old,
thought that plot
and
twist
be-
of
and when
Bulma and
Trunks- when
Vegeta
Trunks appeared-
being the parents, I was like,
Yeah. When Trunks appears and he does like the 2-finger block.
Oh
against-
my God.
Against Goku's sword. I was like,
Oh, I know.
no, isn't it
who-
beautiful?
no,
No, you know what's
Yeah.
like a big
He
flex for
sliced
Trunks?
Frieza.
yeah.
One of the
And then blasted.
one of the most beautiful flexes in anime history was the fact of how much they built up Frieza and Goku becoming Super Saiyan in that initial battle.
and Krillin dying for like the 8th time already.
God,
Man, he was a bullied man. He was bullied
Hey,
so
and remember,
bad.
Krillin's only human.
No
Everyone-
one's died more than
Yeah, yeah.
Yamcha and Tien though.
Yeah. I was so ranked. I think Krillin's
Or
supposed to be.
Chaozu, man.
We gotta do a kill count.
No,
on
but
those
canon-wise,
characters.
I think those three.
I think canon-wise,
Yeah.
Krillin is the strongest human.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
he
yeah,
is.
Doesn't
He is.
isn't he later on? Because I never watched Dragon Ball Super, but I know a little bit. Isn't he in Dragon Ball Super and he's in the tournament or something?
I think he's on the sideline, man. Because
But
he's,
he never
not as
fights-
strong as them.
Yeah, bro, no way.
Yeah.
He's still weak
but
compared
yeah,
to those
so
guys
then,
and everybody. But he's
He's up there. Like,
yeah
for
for
humans.
human wise, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so then you have the introduction of Trunks, and then like I said, how badass do they make Trunks? Where you had a whole arc where this powerful person is so strong, Goku defeats him, and what a good way to demonstrate how powerful Trunks is by having him literally obliterate Frieza.
Yeah, he just sliced
You know?
him and blasted him with his little beam.
And that's so I love that from a storytelling perspective because the initial villain was Dr. Gero in the Red Ribbon Army.
Yep.
And when you look at it, that whole series with the Cell games ends with that being the
same
main
company
villain.
pretty much behind
because
the
Dr.
robots.
Gero,
Just Dr. Juro.
just Dr.
Now
Gero.
the Red
No.
Ribbon Army was completely destroyed.
Because Dr. Gero created the android specifically
And he
to
made it-
defeat.
But he was part of the Red Ribbon.
yeah.
just him,
But at
though.
that point, the Red Ribbon Army
Yeah,
didn't
this
exist
is
no
like-
more. This was just like a side, like
Yeah.
his project that he
Him-
was working
him
on was
coming
to
back-
destroy Goku.
Yeah.
You know,
As
that
like
was the
the
big
mad scientist
emphasis.
type character.
He died in Trunks' world, his where he's from. That's why he
The
came back.
future,
To, he
Yeah.
came back
I mean,
to save him.
Even as a little kid, this always struck me as like, that's kind of stupid.
What?
Goku, I know you're very strong. You know, you're Super Saiyan. You can destroy planets with a single ki blast, but you're gonna die of heart disease in about 3 years.
Yeah, that was a weird thing. Right?
I
Well,
remember-
I guess it was also too like a thing where it was just like, yeah, this powerful person is still at the whims of heart disease.
Undisclosed illness, heart disease. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And it's like, oh, here's this magical antidote. All right.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah, but look, that was a good story. It was a conclusion because and then it's explained how Dr. Gero created Cell to be the perfect,
Yeah.
the perfect thing.
Mixture of organic and cybernetic.
Yeah, and then he took information from the entire everything you've seen up to now. He took
There's always
information.
there's always like a drone flying around.
Yeah.
Or it was like a drone.
It was like a drone, and it
recording
would pick up like blood samples from their battles.
All the Z fighters. So like Cell was
He had all their power.
Yeah, Cell was created from their cells, like including Piccolo,
Everyone,
Goku, Vegeta.
every major warrior, good or bad, that you've seen in the series was implemented into Cell's design. So
And he
what
was, like,
better
plugged
villain?
in.
Yeah.
What better villain to end it with that? You know, Goku ended up like, he died. And you had the rise of Gohan, the son, you know, as the unlocking the Ascended Saiyan, you know, Super Saiyan 2 pretty much. But then like everything after that for me is just complete garbage. Majin Buu Saga, I'm okay with. I'll watch.
There's parts
but
like
GT,
for example, without
Super, I'm good. I don't want it.
Without Dragon Ball Z, I'm gonna argue here because I've always thought the same thing. What you're saying with Cell Saga being like for me the good ending for Dragon Ball Z, but I always think for the complete character arc of Vegeta before Dragon Ball Super and everything, his completed arc was you had to watch the Majin Buu Saga. Remember?
Yeah, because
Oh,
he turns
yes.
into Majin Buu Vegeta.
He gets Majin Vegeta, and then he has. I think to that day, I was like, again, I was at this point maybe 11, watching that, and I was like, his speech to Goku, how he got weaker, he let go of his.
That was a good
his
speech.
Saiyan spirit.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, even for Gohan, because Gohan does. I remember as a kid, I didn't even like that arc
Stupid,
either. The
Great Saiyan Man thing.
But I
Yeah.
think
That was so cool.
Majin Buu,
So
the
corny.
Majin Buu saga. If you had to watch it, it has to be because of Vegeta's completed arc and finally accepting, like,
Yeah.
oh, I love my wife, I love my son.
Yeah, because he
And
was
that's
always like
That's
he
true.
acted like he was solo, but at the
Yeah.
same time, you're having kids with
Yeah,
you're married to her, you're having kids, but you don't want to even show
Yeah.
nobody that.
I always thought it was funny that Goku had enough time to train, become Super Saiyan, save the world multiple times, die, come back, and still had
kids.
time to make Goten.
Yeah.
Like,
Goku's efficient.
Yeah, he has time management.
he was like, all right, babe, give me a sec. Let me take 3 Zenzu beads and I'll be there in a second.
That's right. That's it. Getting the job done. But yeah,
Well, yeah, I mean, and then after that,
And then growing up, the next big, I mean, the only thing good thing about it is Super Saiyan 4 as a little kid watching it.
Oh, yeah.
Dragon Ball GT.
Oh, GT,
But,
sorry.
yeah, other than
Goku
that, everything was
going
pretty
from
bad.
little Goku to big Goku when he goes Super Saiyan 4.
Yeah, even as a
the design was cool, but everything about that whole
and
series
then he goes
was
back
ridiculous.
to little Goku when he's out
that was
of
like the
form.
first episode. He gets wished back as a child.
Yeah, from Emperor Pilaf.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, that's why for me Naruto is the better
Yeah.
like,
Of that
big
shonen
shonen
era.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
with all the
because
fillers-
because Luffy's ridiculous.
Yeah, even with the fillers in Naruto, and you know
Too
there's
dumb,
a lot.
too dumb.
I know.
Luffy's too
No,
dumb
no,
and too
Luffy.
powerful for my. I'm sorry.
Naruto's corny at sometimes, but he
much-
he got heart.
How
man.
much One Piece have you watched?
Dude?
How much One Piece
I
have you
guess
watched?
not enough to accept it.
Same. You know what I hate? Look, I appreciate One Piece so much for how long it's gone on.
Yeah.
You know, and look, I see like the newer chapters and pictures of the newer chapters, and I think it looks cool.
But I think Naruto
But-
and One Piece are right around the same.
No, bro, no.
One Piece is
One
a lot.
Piece dwarfs
Really?
Yeah,
everything.
it's a lot.
I
That's
was
why.
gonna say,
That's why I give it so much. I have so much respect for it.
Yeah.
But I just don't, bro. I can't get
Yeah.
into it. I can't get into it. Everyone around me likes it, and they keep telling me it's good. I think Luffy is such a crappy shonen character. Like, I've watched.
I see a lot of stuff online.
No,
Gear 5 Luffy.
I
and
watched like
Gear this. I don't know.
80 something episodes so far, which is minuscule to the grand scheme of how many
1,000 plus.
episode and chapters there are to this, and I still haven't seen any like development from Luffy as a character.
Pretty sure he
It's-
gets it because I mean 1,000 episodes pulling that
yeah,
off,
that's what I'm saying.
they-
Like,
I'm pretty
it
sure
won't
gets
be as
good.
popular
But
as it is.
It's
if
hard
it
to put in that
wasn't-
time. It's hard to put in that
It's
time
just
to watch
so
that.
difficult for me, and I'll talk
I
to
agree.
people and I'll let them know how I feel about it, and then they're like, "Hey man, it gets good around like episode 200." I'm like, I don't have enough time for that.
Yeah, about
There's
four arcs in, you'll really start getting the
No,
characters.
and you know what's
yeah.
terrible about it is because I think it's maybe because I'm getting into it so late.
Yeah.
There's way too many other animes
that's
that
how
are
I try to explain a lot
immediately
of
good.
stuff.
That are immediately good. How do you tell someone? Listen, it gets good after once you hit episode 164. It gets good.
That's when it starts picking
I'm
up.
like, hey, you got to get me from the beginning. It's like going somewhere and it's the first impression.
Yeah,
You know?
I feel like you
gotta tell me I gotta
Anime
give-
usually give like 3 episodes.
What is
a
that? Just say
chance.
200 episodes.
Yeah.
That's probably 30-minute per episode.
Yeah.
So just do the math how much time you're investing
know.
in this.
Yeah.
You know
So
what I mean?
I never kept. I watched all 3.
I got into it when I reached the Arlong. He starts fighting Arlong, which is like the shark fish people.
Yeah.
That was probably the first time, and that was probably already maybe like 30, 40 episodes in until before that happens. And I was like, oh, now I'm interested. It ended, and then it just went super slow again. And I was just like, oh my, and the fillers, the stupid Buggy the Clown, the pirate guy.
I don't know if I got that far.
I can't, bro.
I probably got into 60 episodes,
Guys,
back in the day.
I
I will
don't know
say,
how far I got
I'm
into
gonna
it. It
keep
wasn't
trying.
enough.
I'm gonna keep trying, but I just want to let you know this is how I feel about Luffy, and it's a lot of people don't like me for that.
So Naruto's clearly winning.
So
and
top
then-
five. Let's go with top five
Top 5 what though? This is very
for anime.
for
Oh,
shonen.
man.
No.
We gotta build up to it.
Wait,
so-
no. You can't do that.
I'm gonna
You
give you
can't.
mine.
Are we doing anime in general? Top 5?
Anime in general.
That's hard, man.
Shit. No, that's easy. It's easy for me.
No, it's easy
It's
for me.
hard, but it's easy for me.
So I'll go with Naruto, Bleach, Attack on Titan.
Okay. Damn, you put Naruto before Attack on Titan?
Of course.
Yeah?
Yes.
That's an interesting choice.
With everything from Naruto's story to Sasuke's
No,
story.
you're right,
To
you're right.
Itachi's story to Kakashi's story.
No,
Come
you're
on, man.
absolutely right. I could see that for sure.
So that's what 4. So
One more.
So Naruto,
No pressure.
Bleach. I said no. I got 2 more. Attack on Titan. I would say.
With this question, I'm very pressured.
You know,
I'll go
I
second
got-
then, so you have more
I
time.
think I have an idea, but it's go ahead, finish.
So
go
number
next.
4, I will have to say, well, it'll have to be Pokemon and Digimon.
That's true too.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
gotta
too.
include them.
Yeah, that's true.
you
and I
started,
love-
you gave your number one
Naruto.
Naruto, okay.
And that's Naruto and Shippuden.
Yeah. Not
That
Boruto.
universe. Yeah.
Not
correct.
Boruto because
Does it have to be
that's-
ranked? I'm like, number 1 is really, really hard for me, but just for the sake of like, you know,
Just-
just,
just
for the sake of brevity,
of
yeah.
Speak it with your heart.
I'm gonna go. I had to, for
I'm so
simplicity,
curious to this.
Berserk.
Yes.
Number 1. Berserk. 1, 2.
Why are you so biased?
Cowboy Bebop.
Interesting.
Oh wow.
3. Hunter x Hunter.
Oh yeah.
4. Mob Psycho.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I love Mob. Yeah.
That one is interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, that's more interesting than you picking Bebop second for me.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then
Okay.
5.
Pressure.
I'm between. You watch a little bit of it. Legends of the Galactic Heroes.
Oh yeah, that's good.
But no, I
like
have to
that.
go with. I have to go with Monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Monster and Mob are like. I mean, all these are like neck and neck.
Yeah.
And even then, you can.
This is
probably
just for the sake of
easily-
lists.
Yeah, for the
Yeah.
sake of lists. But I can get in an in-depth talk about these and get me argued.
Every single one of those,
because
every
these are
single,
so-
every
these are so
single
good.
one of the animes you mentioned, we could have a full episode
Yeah.
on it. We could get into some really
Absolutely.
deep philosophical questions on.
I love Digimon stories. So
Yeah?
I can go into that.
All right, my top 5.
go ahead.
Oh man! All right, number 1, Berserk. Yeah,
Biased.
You gotta watch
Berserk.
it.
Biased.
You gotta watch
biased.
Berserk.
I watched it and I'm reading it, and Berserk is beautiful. It's my God. I've never been on such an emotional trip until like from an anime until I watched Berserk, which is why I watch anime more than I actually watch
just remember another
just
one.
like live television, per se. Anime is not afraid to get emotional, and specifically anime is not afraid to show growth
of
with
course.
male to male friendship
Yeah,
or just
yeah.
relationships.
Well, a lot of-
because I
if you
feel that
see-
Western media is afraid to do that,
No.
and anime is not afraid to say like men have feelings.
Yeah.
And they've
Yeah.
been doing that for a very long time.
Sometimes males got to be with males to have a good
Yeah,
time.
so,
Like a lot of times they
I
train.
mean, that's a whole future episode until Matt finishes Berserk. We can do a
Yeah,
whole episode.
I want it. We're gonna have an episode on Berserk, and yeah.
yeah,
Anyways,
I haven't
okay.
started Berserk. So
Berserk. That's one for me. Two will be because this is all anime there, and if that's the case, I'm going off narrative. Berserk 1, 2, Parasite the Maxim.
When you were talking about Berserk, that one popped in my head. Yeah,
so that's
Parasite
number 2 for me because when you're asking me anime, I want this to be clear. When you're
Yeah.
asking me best animes, I'm going off of story, what I
correct.
felt,
What you
emotional
got
connection,
got attached to.
Yeah.
The reason why.
Berserk 1, Parasite 2, 3, Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga number 3. If you haven't watched Vinland Saga, because the first 2 you could say, yeah, those are old animes. Vinland Saga is fairly new. I mean, we're currently in a season 2.
Yeah.
I've been watching and I've been reading, and it's not
Do
an
both,
anime.
yeah.
It's not an anime that's not afraid to talk about legitimate PTSD, and I like that because this anime, like you start watching and you're like, oh, it's about like Vikings, war,
A typical revenge story.
So season 2 it really plays on like a lot of emotional and psychological things. So that's a big thing for me.
Yeah.
So number 3, Vinland Saga. 4, Death Note.
Death
Well,
Note's a classic.
Yeah,
Death Note
watch
is
it. And I know that's
just-
been out for a long time.
That
too.
is like peak.
I'm slacking.
That is, I remember when I watched Death Note, that was like peak villain. You know,
Yeah.
Light is an insane written villain. The way that Griffith might, you know, and just
That
the
crazy
demon
looking
hand.
character, man. That- what is he called?
From
That,
where?
That crazy one from Death
Oh,
Note.
Ruik?
Ryuk? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's
That
a
one-
Shinigami.
Yeah.
He's like the what? Well, watch it.
Sick.
Yeah.
Looks crazy.
5, I would say. Wow, this is difficult right now for 5.
Yeah, like for you
5.
mentioned some. I'm like, you can argue. I can argue like Vinland Saga to be my top 5.
Yeah,
Like, that's,
5.
Like
5 Monster.
Wasn't that your 5?
Monster was in my top 5.
Yeah.
Berserk was in my top
Yeah,
5.
so for me, number 1.
The
So
bias bros over
so
here.
for me, it was Berserk
Man.
1,
It's like, I mean,
2 Parasite, 3 Vinland Saga, 4. What did I pick for 4? I completely
you
forgot.
didn't say Hunter x Hunter, right?
No, I didn't say Hunter
la-
x Hunter.
but the last one you
Death
said-
Note. Death Note. I said
Note,
Death
yeah.
Note
Yeah, we
and
have
then
we have-
Monster.
We have 2 similarities.
And then typically, for me, it's as you'll find as a trend on this podcast. Each one of those animes has like a very, very well written villain. Very well written villain. They're all great. Each one of those is a full episode for me, if I'm gonna be completely honest, and it's up for discussion. I have a few animes in there that I'm very adamant about contain the most well written villains in anime history.
Oh yeah.
You got
I think
Griffith. Yeah, he's a villain.
Johan.
I don't want anybody to come at me and try to tell me that Griffith didn't do anything wrong, because I'll come at you. I'll come at you.
But Johan is up there. Monster.
Johan is up there with Light.
No, for me, Johan completely laughs Light.
Oh, no, for
multiple
sure.
times. He's competing with Griffith for me.
You know what?
Johan.
That's right. Like if we're gonna rank
Light,
that,
Light for me was like a very pivotal moment for like this anime, like
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
like the typical edgy,
no, I can't laugh right now.
the edgy, intelligent like type of character, like
Yeah.
what was the famous scene? I'll eat a potato chip, and
yeah.
that's when he's like when they have cameras in his room. But Johan
Is
between
like
Johan and
Johan is Light on massive steroids.
Yeah.
yeah. And I mean Griffith. We could have a whole 3-hour evil analysis about
Griffith,
About
right?
Griffith. Hands down, probably one of the best anime villains, man.
yeah.
Before we get into like, let's go more into like modern animes, like what we're currently watching.
Oh, well, okay.
But before that, have either of you watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
I
yeah,
I hate to
so
say
good.
it, no. Like I have not watched anything Full
Man,
Metal.
The story behind Full Metal
Everyone
Alchemist
tells
is
me.
So
Everyone tells me, and it's on my list to watch. But you know what it's like
Yeah.
to have anime. Anime, man, is you have
Yeah.
nothing but content to get
Yeah.
into.
But you don't know which one to get into. It's whatever sticks, whatever
Yeah.
you put on and you get sucked into. But Full Metal,
You watched the whole thing?
yes.
Okay.
All right,
I never
so
finished.
Let me ask you this. All right, since let's talk about modern. How do you feel about modern shonen characters? So like right now you got My Hero Academia, you have Chainsaw Man,
Jujutsu
Kaisen. How do you feel about those
I think
shonen?
because
I
obviously
like My Hero Academia.
yeah, we talked about the big three. Obviously we had Naruto,
Attack on Titan, I guess we could throw in
yeah,
that too,
we had
right?
Naruto, Luffy, and
It's still going on.
Ichigo. So now
Yeah,
I
from
think they're-
Bleach too. You could put Bleach in there because
I think for the modern, they
Yeah,
reference the modern big three or dark three, I think something like that. Jujutsu Kaisen,
Yeah.
because it's like showing it, but a bit. I would call it a bit edgier and darker. Like compare like
I gotta get into that.
compare like the three, like Naruto, and now we're comparing it to Jujutsu Kaisen, the Hell's Paradise.
Ooh, yeah,
And,
that's true. Hell's Paradise.
I'm missing one.
The next big three.
Demon Slayer.
Demons. Oh my
Like,
god, I forgot about Demon
You
Slayer
see
too.
how
Yeah.
those three are like the big ones for the last few years, especially
Yeah.
Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
When we went to like an anime convention, everyone was wearing like the
cosplay for
cosplay
Demon
for it.
Slayer. Yeah.
Those three, like you see how they're like the upgraded version of the previous three, but they're at like a darker strain to it.
Yeah,
Correct.
they do.
Yeah.
I mean,
of those
I
three,
remember
which was your favorite. So I mean,
For which one, the modern?
those three. When it comes to Demon Slayer,
Jujutsu.
Kaisen. Oh, but have you seen?
I haven't seen the other two. I only saw the beginning of season 1 of Demon
Demon
Slayer.
Slayer.
But
Damn,
I,
you haven't watched Jujutsu Kaisen?
No, but I'm gonna go with Demon Slayer, man.
I will say this.
Demon
where-
Slayer, I think, has it beats before you watch it Jujutsu Kaisen and when it comes to animation. I think it has.
That's exactly what I was
it
gonna
has
say.
bigger
When it
peaks,
comes
bigger peaks.
to animation, Demon Slayer is the peak of the mountain right now.
for
Yeah.
shonen.
It's beautiful.
The story's
my God,
so dark,
The
man.
stories is dark, but the
good.
fight scenes, my God, the
That water
fight
style,
scenes,
man.
all the styles. To
I was
me,
like,
man.
oh, it kind of reminds me of Bleach in an aspect
And-
with the
yeah,
swords and the
yeah.
powers.
and the demons, like the powers and the way they do it. I love. Oh my God, you haven't even seen the new season.
Yeah,
you haven't started it.
I'm really behind.
The design of the Infinity Castle. Oh my God, you'll see it. You'll see it. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we a little behind.
But Jujutsu Kaisen. Though I feel like everyone's forgetting Jujutsu Kaisen because Jujutsu Kaisen hasn't come out with anything recently. The last thing was the Zero movie.
The updated Kakashi.
Gojo?
Gojo.
Bro, get out of here. Gojo's delicious.
No, I love Gojo.
Better
I'm
than
saying, like,
Kakashi?
Look at this.
Better than Kakashi?
Sakuna, baby. Got the Sakuna on me.
Man.
Bro, no, Gojo.
every anime like generation has
Let me
their
zoom
cool,
in on this. Gojo.
they have every anime generation has their cool white haired character. Every
Yeah.
anime generation.
Every
Kakashi.
anime generation has their cool white haired, their eyes are kind of covered guy. Gojo.
Yeah.
Gojo's cool. No, Gojo's a really cool character. Jujutsu Kaisen is good. Trust me, like you're like Demon Slayer because I feel like Demon Slayer's been more consistent in its releases.
Yeah, it has. It's been a while. I want to
And let's be honest, people have talked crap about how it's ended because the manga already ended. For Demon Slayer, and a lot of people are complaining about the ending.
Yeah,
I don't know it yet. I don't know it yet, but a lot
of
of people are complaining about it. Jujutsu Kaisen has nothing but good things.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing is, watch Demon Slayer. I'm not taking anything away from Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is good, but go back and watch Jujutsu Kaisen 2 while you're watching Demon Slayer, and you're gonna be like, you know what? No, Jujutsu. While Demon Slayer is beautiful visually, I will not take that away.
Graphics are
And the
amazing.
story's good. I'm not saying it's bad, but for me personally,
Jujutsu
Kaisen is my favorite one right now in this
seen
new
it.
modern,
Those
this
dark
new
three,
modern
though.
shonen. Yeah.
But like I said,
Because I like My Hero. But My Hero gets a little like overwhelming at times.
I'm
Where I'm
pretty
just kind of
behind
like
My Hero.
too many characters. Like
I like
and
My Hero.
That's me personally.
I
Though.
wish there was a little bit more darkness to it.
to My Hero.
To My Hero.
My Hero has a very at the end of the day, My Hero is an anime, but I feel like My Hero is an anime take on Western superhero.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the thing.
Yeah, that's what I liked about it. I feel like My Hero is definitely more in the strain of Naruto, like power of friendship type
Yep.
thing.
It is.
Yeah.
It
Compared
is.
to like
It
you know
is.
Demon Slayer.
Yeah. I would say for sure-
Tanjiro?
Tanjiro, yeah, Tanjiro.
I mean, imagine in the middle of like a demon, like he's fighting a demon with his water style, power of French. Like you know, they don't use that as like a power source. As a
Yeah,
big-
well,
You-
no, not as a power source. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
But
Heart of the Cards.
But there is a big play. There is a big play.
Believe in me.
Yeah.
There is a big play on Danjiro's protection over Nezuko.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there is something there, which is what grants them. Well, even Nezuko. Nezuko unlocks a lot of her demon blood art.
Yeah.
Because of her, oh my God, my brother's getting killed.
A lot of
Or
it's
losing.
emotional based. If you look at it, look at Digimon, look at Pokemon.
Yeah,
They
that's the
evolve
thing.
and they transform.
That's
with,
the beautiful
like,
thing
Is
about.
there's a current Demon Slayer season going on right now.
Yeah, the
Okay, but-
swordsmith,
so
the
is that-
isn't it
swordsmith
season
village
3?
arc.
For this
Season 3,
for currently, is that the best anime you like the most right now?
Right
Current
now,
airing?
no, it's Vinland Saga.
Vinland Saga? Yeah,
Vinland
makes
Saga
sense.
for
I
me.
don't know about that either.
But Vinland Saga for sure is a lot. I would say like Demon Slayer. I would say is my second right now, like of the moderns. I just started watching Hell's Paradise, which I'm 2 episodes in.
It's so early, but
I'm 2 episodes in. Yeah, and it's great. I didn't expect it. I watched it because I hit random on my Crunchyroll because I didn't know what to watch one day, and it's been great. It's been great. I mean,
so tell me what what anime topics you would like to focus on, like on the next episode or so.
I mean, we'd have to get into like a specific
solid
show, right? That's the thing.
We could. There's plenty. So I think Naruto's a big thing.
Yeah, because this is a
can
massive
do a Naruto
topic.
one.
Because the reason why
Because
I said
now we could
Naruto-
even talk about sports animes. That's a whole different one too. You know,
But at least we could touch base on like the big ones that stood out to us.
I would love to do a Naruto. Just like talk about Naruto. We could do one on
We can do
Hunter x Hunter would be pretty
even one
cool
on just
too.
shonen.
Yeah, just on Shonen.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a massive topic to touch. I mean, we could be here for a week.
Same thing
and
with Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh's a big thing
Yeah.
for me. I can go and discuss anything you think about Yu-Gi-Oh, really, because I watched up until I want to say the most recent one, which was
Wow, you actually kept up?
Yeah, I
I
kept
stopped
up.
watching after
it's so much. So I don't-
Kaiba's tournament.
oh man, there's so much after that.
No, there's a massive amount.
Yeah.
And
I
then
did.
Digimon too. Digimon kept going, but
Yeah.
everybody was
I stopped
focused.
Digimon
Would
really
you?
young.
You
This
really
is like a
did?
random thought for me.
It gets really emotional, man.
Would you count Dr. Stone as like a new shonen too?
In a way, there it's like a mixture of. Oh man, we can do a whole episode on like isekai.
Oh
And
my god.
the
I
curse
want to
of
give it
But
Isekais-
Dr. Stone's like a shonen / isekai type thing. Well, it's time travel.
I'd like to give a shout out to JP for telling me about Mushuku. What is it?
Mushoku Tensei.
Mushoku
Best
Tensei.
isekai, I think.
Because actually, he's the one that's gotten me into all the real like legitimate isekais that I've been like, oh, this is interesting because
Yeah.
it's Mushoku Tensei, and then the time I reincarnated as a slime.
That's pretty
Like,
good. Yeah.
I love Rimuru. Rimuru is like such a good character to me. That's another one you have to watch, bro.
Yeah, there's a lot on my list, man. I gotta catch up.
I could do a whole episode, like I said, on sports animes because
But I've been hearing good things about Jujutsu Kaisen,
you have to watch Jujutsu Kaisen.
so I will go
Because the one other one that we really have to mention too, when we talked about the moderns, was Blue Lock.
Blue Lock.
Blue Lock
But
has like
what happened with Well, we still got Bleach. Bleach came back,
Bleach came back. That's true.
and but I don't know. Bleach is number 2 for me, so that's a big.
You've watched all of them.
All of them.
Yeah, like
How did
all
you?
of them.
I haven't watched the new one.
I watched
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
40, 50 episodes in.
really.
Yeah, years ago. This was back in middle school.
Man, just the fact that these characters had Zanpakutos, which is their
Their sword, the
personal
sword spirit.
Yeah,
thing.
their sword, but each of them gets their own like powers,
Mm-hmm.
right? So everybody's different. Man, you're missing out.
Yeah.
This is so dark right now. There's so much gore
For
in it.
Bleach?
For Bleach.
Like a 1,000-year war arc.
yes.
Yeah.
It's
The Thousand
crazy.
Sun.
A thou- no,
1,000-year
a thou-
war.
Oh,
Oh,
1,000-year war arc.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's gonna be something we need to talk about because I can go in because Ichigo, man, he's young at first, but when you start learning about him and his family and
Yeah.
then what he really is,
Yeah.
If you're not caught
That's
up,
what we
you don't
gotta
know what he
do.
really
Like right
is.
now,
then.
this is like just a basic anime
telling
overview.
you,
Anime
man.
overview. And our
But we
experience with
definitely
anime.
are gonna start releasing just overall feelings and I guess reviews, just like
Yeah.
how we feel about them of all these different animes because there is a plethora to get into.
It's hot right now. Everybody's trying to figure out these animes, thinking that it's new, not
Every
realizing it came
season,
out.
there's
Yeah.
too much anime now.
Yeah,
Like that's the
I
thing.
can't keep
yeah.
up with all the
I mean,
anime.
look, just within our conversation right now, how many like there's a lot of things you haven't seen. There's a lot of things I haven't
Yeah.
seen. There's a lot of things you haven't seen. But then
The
you talk to
world.
us, and we've all seen a bunch of anime still.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the beautiful thing. That's why I watch so much
Anime's
anime.
life.
Yeah, and it's a good story. It's well written. You know what I mean? Like. You look at we could do reviews on every, look what we did during Marvel and the Star Wars episodes where we talked about these specific series and we could just tear them apart.
Easily.
But that's kind of actually difficult to do with a lot of animes because the stories are so well written. You know what I mean? Mind you, there's blurps there.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball GT.
Yeah.
That it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like anime, typically all is really well written.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. I mean, mind you, there's their bad ones.
In
but-
the last year, I have to give a shout out to 3 of the 3 anime. Odd Taxi.
Yo, that was actually a really good one. Yeah. I remember you told me about that. I was so like what is
really
this? Taxi
different,
Cab
really
Confessions?
Sunny Boy.
Son, I don't think I've seen that one.
Very surreal. Very
I
experimental.
haven't seen either of those.
And the other one with I don't know if you guys watched this. The main character starts off as a rock.
Is that like it's an isekai?
No, it's
A rock?
but it should be.
That seems very anime.
Yeah. And then he evolves into like more beings, but without wasting too much time trying to find the name. But for me, those 3 animes are the best in the last year.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang, I'm behind. I'm
The
thinking,
last
like,
year, bro? Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I know Odd Taxi because Odd Taxi won like some awards and stuff too. And I remember when you told me about it and I watched it, I was like, wow, this was not what I expected it to be. It was really good. Yeah, it's overwhelming. Look, like another one that I love is Don't Toy With Me, Ms. Nagataro. I think that's like the funniest.
I watched 3 episodes with it of it with you, and I just couldn't get into it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
I
some
think
of-
it's
there's
so
some
funny.
animes-
It's so funny.
It has to hit. You know, when you pick a new anime or anything,
It has
really.
to hit like episode 1 of Attack on Titan, episode 1 of Demon
Oh my
Slayer.
goodness.
Those episodes that leave you traumatized. That's what these
Yo,
gentlemen
Demon
want.
Slayer, that first episode, I'm like, what is
It's
going
Attack on Titan, like you know, like you don't. You're like,
on?
whoa.
Massacred.
The introduction to the universe and
Whoa.
world. You're like, oh, this is serious.
Yeah.
It's about to go down. So, what would y'all say, just for the future of anime? Do you think that there's a balance with because there's sports anime?
Yeah,
There's,
I
it's
love
not
it,
just
man.
fighting. So,
Blue Lock, Yawamushi Pedal, the cycling one.
do you think
Haiku,
from the original
Slam
3 to
Dunk.
now that there's been like a progression, or should we go back a different way? Should we,
I think that anime's evolved. Like definitely from the like those original big 3 that like kind of took the West by storm, right? Because that's the biggest thing. Anime I feel like always like has been popular in the East, but the introduction to the West, I believe, with the big 3, really got the West into it, and from then to now, the progression I believe has been fantastic.
Yeah.
And you can really see the change and growth, honestly, from a storytelling and narrative perspective of how it's evolved. And I never have anything bad to say about anime.
Yeah.
I'm more reluctant if you were to tell me to watch a show like a live actor show.
Yeah.
If you recommend an anime to me, I'm gonna watch it a lot sooner than I would if you recommend the show to me.
Oh, yeah,
because
100%.
I've always been an advocate for animation. I feel like you could get
More adult animation specifically.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
feel like you can tell a much broader story, and you can get away with a lot more things from an animated perspective than you do from using just regular live acting.
You can get away with a lot more things on anime. Yes,
Yeah.
the medium is so. I want something again. We didn't even talk about anime movies.
Yeah. Studio Ghibli.
Yeah.
I mean,
we'll
Ghost
be
in the
coming back for
Ghost in the
another
Shell.
episode.
yeah, like there's a new movie recently too that's been taking kind of like the animated world by storm. It's like Suzanne.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Suzanne.
I haven't seen
I know I'm butchering the name.
Yeah.
but that's on my list. I want to go watch it before it leaves.
Crazy
theaters.
how much stuff is out there still that like
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever be caught up. I don't think anybody will
It's
ever be caught up.
impossible. Like I don't know, man. Like you've had to
No,
have been. I
every
mean, I'm pretty sure
season-
there's those people out there.
Every season there's what 40, 50 animes releasing.
It's hard, like per season, right? Because
there's
there's
so
a
much
summer,
anime now.
spring, winter. Yeah,
But even then, a good chunk of those are like 10% of those are like the horrible copy and paste isekais.
yeah. I must collect my harem.
Yeah, my so I mean a lot of but because more anime is being produced than ever before, we still get like I said those 3 animes like I mentioned before. You get like those that stand out.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
story wise,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just being more experimental.
Shout out to Mappa. I think is the name of the
Mappa,
studio.
yeah.
Like
Yeah, Mappa
the
Studios.
level, the animation that this studio is putting out is pioneering, like in the world of anime. I love what they do. Just keep up the great work. I
Yeah.
mean, anime is something that, like I said, it's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
limitless, and
You're in a whole different world, man.
yeah. It's a gift that keeps on giving because there's always a good anime.
Yeah.
There's always a good anime for you to watch. They hit on so many topics, so many emotions that there's an anime out there for you.
There's a story behind
know?
every show that's out in anime.
Absolutely, it could be something as complicated as politics, like you get with I think it's like Requiem of the Rose, which is it's a very Game of Thrones.
The War of Roses.
Yeah,
right?
it's a very Game of Thrones type of anime, all the way down to something like Food Wars, which is literally about
Food Wars.
cooking, or just like relationships. Or the point is that, like I said, when you tell a group of people, like there's an anime out there for everyone.
Yeah.
I feel like there's an anime out there for everyone. Once you get past the idea, if you're not into animation, I understand that. But once you get past
it's a different
watching
world.
animation and you just give it an opportunity, I promise you, just tell me what you're into.
There's
what's
something
something
out
that
there.
you're into?
Yeah.
And
For
I
everybody.
promise you, there's an anime for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's one thing that I've always appreciated about anime.
Any closing for you?
I think I was again those three.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention how every anime season, like I said, like 90% of it's bad. Just hope for more of those, the experimental ones, like Villain Saga. Really, especially if you once you watch season 2,
Yeah.
Matt, it really turns on its
got
head,
a
like
lot
the
of
typical
anime to
like
catch up on.
just we're watching this anime for the violent. attitude. It
Oh,
really
we're watching
changes.
it for the warrior that kills
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah.
You know, you'll see it flips it on the narrative aspect.
Even
on its head.
I mean, I feel like for the main character, you can even make a good argument with Eren Yeager. Have you completely caught up with Attack on Titan?
I have to watch the second part to this
Okay.
last
Yeah.
season.
Regardless, spoilers for everything we've
Yeah,
talked
yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Every one of our
anime-
episodes is a spoiler.
more anime geared towards those more interesting main characters that are
Oh,
more in the gray area of their decisions rather than like a character like Naruto. I think you can see the Funko from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little Naruto, but yeah, I think it's progressed. I hope it continues. I got a lot to catch up on, so stay
We all
tuned
do.
for many more anime and everything else.
Let us know whatever
episodes.
anime you want us to discuss.
Yeah, drop it in the Q&A, and we'll get back to you. All right, so everybody, next time, have a good one.
Thanks for listening to The Nerd Pod. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. While you're there, help us spread the word by leaving a rating and review. We'll talk to you next time on The Nerd Pod.